Folks, it's Johnny Lang, and I'm still around, believe it or not. I know it's been a moment since I've done a little video, so here we are. Happy New Year's to you all. Hope everybody is doing great. So there's been a lot of changes in the old Lang garage. We'll get to those maybe in the next episode, but I think today we're going to talk about this beast, which is my 1972 Chevelle. All right, you guys know that I like the quirky cars, and I think this qualifies. Earlier in the year, browsing the local classified section, I saw this 72 Chevelle that's mounted on a 71 Chevy Blazer frame. Where I'm so big into Halloween, this is the perfect candidate. So I think I was one of the first few to call on the car after it was listed for sale. And I went down and I met Cody, who was selling the car. Saw the vehicle, I thought, oh boy, that's gonna be a little bit of a project. But I saw the potential in it. So we made the deal, and she was even nice enough to tow it to my house. So the fun part was that her father was friends with the individual that actually built this car. Now, going through the glove box, I found this really cool old photo, and that's of the original owner. He was hunting, and as you can see, there's the Chevelle in the background. So what exactly did I do? Where the car hadn't been ran in a while, that was the first priority. I wasn't sure if I was up against an engine replacement or what. I ended up, draining the gasoline, putting some fresh gas in, fuel filter, changed the oil, all those things. And guess what? It fired up. I was really excited. It fired up with such ease after sitting for so many years. I started, working on other little things: exhaust, brakes, wheels, tires. All right, cleaned up the interior a bit, had to vacuum up all the hantavirus, added a tachometer, fixed a bunch of wiring with the gauges, new headlight switch, needed a temperature gauge. I couldn't see anything in reverse, so I did that kind of a safety thing, just a reverse camera, just a cheapie. And yeah, check this out. It's the SM465 manual trans, and it has that granny low gear, which is kind of cool. If you're out rock crawling, probably why the guy used it to do some deer hunting. Of course, got the old CB radio that actually fires up, and even a roll bar, and these seats. Anybody guess what these seats are from? I actually found a tag. They're Mercedes-Benz seats. How cool is that? I did some wiring here for all the lights and just to kind of clean things up a bit. I also went through and flushed the radiator because there was a bunch of crap in that. And then there was a bunch of mud that was caked up in fins in the grills of the radiator in the back. As much as I would love to have said that this is a real blower, it is not. It's a fiberglass facsimile. So as you saw in the original photos, this fender was black, but the rest of it was kind of a primer color. And I wanted this rust, this patina look. Went to YouTube, several videos on how to create this patina look. And I found one that was particularly helpful. He used just three colors: black, brown, tan, and some of that red primer. But the big thing was that he was using water as he was spraying the paint just out of the rattle cans, and that gave it kind of that rusty look. So that's exactly what I did. Broke out my tube bender, and I created this rack. It was kind of the tripod to hold the gun. Of course, found some really cool spikes that I welded into place, and it also served as a light bar. Added on some tabs there. This grill guard was actually in place already with a little bit of a winch mount. There's actually a winch in there. It's a power takeoff winch. And then of course I added these pieces, welded them onto place, did the same thing, extra spikes there, and added the chain and the lighting. I have an old set of handcuffs there that I had back my previous job. And then I created these thunder sticks. Now, if you don't know anything about Mad Max or Wasteland, those aren't going to make sense to you, but they're kind of from the movie. Just old cans I, put together. And of course, these larger ones that were made out of pineapple juice. For those that don't know, thunder sticks in the movies, they filled those up with gasoline, they lit them up, and they were kind of like torches, darts that they would throw. I had to leave this sticker on here. It was original when I got it. It's a bad 72. Tires are actually in really good shape, 33s. The wheels were aluminum, and all I did was took a can of rattle paint to them. Gave it a fresh double steering stabilizer as well, just to help out, because it would kind of wander down the road a little bit. It was a little spooky. So those of you remember the Porsche project that I did, kind of a Mad Max theme, 87 Targa that I put on the Land Cruiser frame that I never finished. You know, I have this rule, guys, that basically if I start something and I don't finish it, if it sits for 2 years, it's got to go. I don't want to be that guy that, you know, has projects just piled up in his backyard that just never finishes them. With that Porsche, I had bought a resin replica 50 cal gun that I found on eBay, and I actually tried to reach out to that same seller, and he was out of those, and unfortunately he would not get those back in stock before Halloween. So the only other thing I had to do was to make one, and that's what I did. As you can see, it's a Army ammo can using some miscellaneous hardware I had laying around, handles, pipes, this and that, or whatever. I kind of made it the main portion of the gun. Those barrels are actually just wooden dowels, and those round pieces are wheel spacers, aluminum wheel spacers from good old Amazon. And of course I bought some cheap sights, as you can see there, and so forth. And it turned out okay. You know, put the little orange tippies on there so nobody would think that I was sporting a real gun. I don't want to get in trouble. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of Halloween. Every Halloween I try to go above and beyond, and this was actually just my project for Halloween. Of course, I was Immortan Joe with a little bit of a twist. Got the mask down and had a lot of fun cruising around like that. I made sure I hit up like every Halloween car show that I could, and I went to about 5 or 6 car show slash trunk or treats. Bought a lot of candy. Holy cow, candy is expensive these days. I pretty much kind of nailed it at every little Halloween car shows. Won some awards, a lot of photos taken, and a lot of thumbs up. And you know, that's the fun part. That's the successful part. Well, I found a Facebook page that specialized in wasteland vehicles and cosplay and that type of a thing, and I posted this beast up there. It got pretty well received rather quickly. And a few days later, there was a post by a gentleman, and guess what? It was the guy in the photo with the deer that said, hey, that was my old vehicle, and my dad and I built it when I was 16 years old. He owned a machine shop. We did the body swap on it, and that's actually me in the photo, and that antelope head or whatever it is actually still up in my living room. Of course, I had to connect with him, became friends with him. He did confirm that, I mean, this was done, I think he said he was in his mid-50s now, and this was done when he was 16. So this was done like, I don't know, 35, 40 years ago, which is kind of cool. You know, it's moments like these that you actually appreciate the internet for connecting people and so forth. I know the internet sometimes has such a negative connotation to it, with so much horrible things and this and that, but when something like this happens, it's kind of neat. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the 72 Chevelle on the 71 Blazer frame, Mad Max 7, I guess, if you will. It was a lot of fun this year, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, do I sport it for another season or so forth, or do I just end up selling it? It's a unique piece. It's kind of cool that we tracked down the original creator and so forth. And anyway, thanks for hanging out, and hope you enjoyed this beast. A little different, and we'll see you next time. Like I said earlier, we got some catching up to do. My whole garage has changed. The A-Team van is gone, the Trans Am is gone, the stupid Prius is gone. I have this beast, 805 horsepower. I bought that BMW back there. Of course, my trusty Land Cruiser, but I don't know, can you see that 8 Series? And then, of course, our Land Cruiser that my wife drove. It's gone. Picked up a new LX. We'll get more into those in the next video, and I promise it's not gonna be like a year from now. Let's shoot for in a few weeks, maybe. All right, take care, enjoy the new year, and it's good to see you all. Bye-bye.